Alright, so thought I'd hop on and do an update. Again, like I said last week, I'm just kind of taking it easy until the first, or really the second is when I'm gonna start my next program. And so I just wanted to kind of see how I would do just kind of on my own without having a lot of structure. And like last week I said I wanted to try to structure it because I like the structure, and that just kind of went out the window. So I'll show you my apps here in a minute. My calories have been like substantially higher than, whenever I was finishing up my program, and I haven't gained like a lot of weight, but it's already starting to kind of creep back up just because I've just been kind of eating whatever I felt like. Again, it's not really like bad food, but this week in particular, I've not been eating as healthy as before. Like, I went to the store and it sucks because there's not a lot of vegan options where I'm at, and I'm seeing more kind of like processed vegan food pop up in the store. Like Impossible has been putting out some different meals and things. And so I kind of want to like buy it to kind of like support the brand, I guess, and support like having more vegan options at the store. But then whenever I buy stuff, I feel like, well, it's sitting in my fridge, I should probably eat it. And so, yeah, I've been eating a little bit more kind of like vegan junk food, I guess. And I don't know, it's the holidays, and so I kind of felt like, like yesterday we went to the store and I was like, let me see what vegan ice cream options they have. And they have a lot more than before. And, I would get vegan ice cream a little bit in the past, but like the non-dairy versions, most of them just, they weren't like ice cream. They didn't taste that good. The texture was like, a lot of them were like hard. And so I'm like, let me give some a try again. And so I got like 3 different flavors, and I tried 2 of them last night, and it does seem like they've improved quite a bit. Like, I didn't eat a whole little carton of any of them. I just kind of tried 2 of them. And yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, well, it's Christmas and it's vacation, and I'm just being a little bit more lenient. But I am actually looking forward to getting back onto a more structured diet. But yeah, I'll show you in the apps. My weight has gone up, but not a lot. So I was maintaining it like 135, 136 for the 2 weeks after my program. And this week the average is, I'm averaging about 137, so it is kind of creeping up. But I did do something kind of interesting. So last week I talked about that I had gone to get the InBody scan, and then, or week before last, and then this week I did the DEXA scan, and I just wanted to kind of compare the two because the DEXA is like a better scan. It's, they call it like the gold standard. It's going to give you like the most accurate reading of, what your body composition is, what your muscle, what your fat, what your bone density, all that stuff. And I just wanted to compare, because if the InBody scan is decent, then I don't feel like I would need to make the drive and spend the money on the DEXA scan. And I would say there were some differences, and these were also like not a full week, about 5 days apart when I did them. One of them I did on a Friday and one I did on a Wednesday. So I expected there to be some differences, but there's not going to be a huge composition change within just a few days. And so, yeah, let's see. I will show you these here in a second, but I mean, I guess just the main thing, my percent body fat on the InBody scan was 36.3, and the one on my DEXA scan was 33.6. So, I mean, that's 3 percentage points difference. And the DEXA scan showed my body fat percentage to be less. but yeah, I feel like the InBody is close enough just to do like a check, you know, every now and then, just to see if things have changed. And I also found out that there's a place in my city that I can get it done for $10, and it's way closer than where the place I went before was about an hour away, and it was $30 and then $20 for subsequent scans, and then this place in town is only $10. So I can pop in, you know, maybe once a month or so and just maybe get an InBody scan and see. They also, I'm not sure if all Anytime Fitness has an InBody scan, but at my place that I go, they do have an InBody scanner, and you can pay like an extra amount per month to get like one scan a month. But I don't know, if you go to an Anytime Fitness and that's an option, you may look into that. But it's just kind of like I don't know, I'd rather just do it at this other place that I found. So anyway, yeah, let me go through my apps and just kind of show you what the calories were looking like, and then I'll show you what my InBody sheet looked like and what my DEXA scan looked like. Oh, also I got a, what's it called, RMR. When I got my DEXA scan, what is that, resting metabolic rate? Yeah, and this one was pretty accurate. I mean, I think this is going to be the most accurate. Again, this place had, you know, kind of some more advanced tools than the place that I went to get the InBody. When the InBody, they did do a calculation of my basal metabolic rate, and it showed that kind of like my baseline, just to the amount of calories I would need just without even exerting myself at all, just to stay alive, was 1,222 calories. And this one I did, and then they say you add about 400 calories on top of that for like just basic life, you know, like just basic moving around and things like that without additional exercise. So it'd be the 1,222 plus 400. This one that I got when I got the DEXA scan, I had to sit there and like blow into this thing for 10 minutes, just breathing normally for 10 minutes. And then from that, it measured what my rate was. And when I got that one, it was a little bit, my resting energy expenditure was 1354, so a little bit higher than what was calculated at the InBody scan. And then they added on 405. It says just lifestyle and activities, just basic, you know, normal stuff. And then it's had an additional amount for, I think he said, is if you were to be just like walking for 20 minutes, that would be an additional 141 calories. And so, yeah, just to kind of give me an idea of like what, so over the course of the 12-week program, I got a pretty good idea of what my maintenance calories were, like how many calories I would need to take in just to kind of maintain the weight that I was at. But this is actually, you know, a little bit more scientific to calculate what that is. And it did fall around like what I was thinking. So it's kind of good to get this to kind of back up what I was already figuring out on my own. But then that also shows like if you're consistent and going to the gym and eating like on kind of a scheduled like plan, you could also kind of get a pretty good idea of just on your own of what your maintenance, you know, calories would be. The other thing I want to say is, even though I've stayed, like I've been eating a lot of calories and I've stayed kind of, I haven't gained a ton of weight, I can tell, I feel, maybe it's too soon to tell because it's been 3 weeks, almost a month since my program ended, and since I haven't been in the gym. I've been going in and walking on some days, but not every day, but just without doing any weightlifting or any, you know, major activity. I feel like personally that my body composition is changing in terms of like the amount of muscle and stuff that I have. So even though I weigh the same, I feel like I'm feeling different. And I guess we'll just see. Next week I will do my measurements again, so I'll get like all my measurements before I start this other program. But yeah, I'm just kind of seeing how it goes for now. But anyway, I will get on my apps real quick, and then I will show the results of my DEXA scan. Okay, so I'll start on my Fitbit app, and you can see how my weight has kind of changed. It hasn't gone up like drastically, like I said, and some of the girls in the Facebook group said they've pretty much gained back like all the weight that they've lost already. Mine hasn't been that drastic, but it is starting to kind of slowly creep back up. So, you know, like a couple weeks ago, my average was 135.5, then 136.3, and I was staying like back and forth between 135 and 136. And this week it's been kind of going up a little bit more, 137. So without being on any sort of like plan or program or watching what I'm eating and eating a little bit more for the holidays, yeah, my weight is slowly creeping back up. Let me go to my Fitness Pal, and you'll see why. So yeah, I haven't really hit, except for looks like Friday was the only day I was like around the 1700. That was kind of like my goal. What I'd figured out intuitively through doing the program was kind of around my maintenance. And I've been substantially higher on some of the days. So yeah, like 3,500 on Tuesday and yesterday. And yeah, like I haven't been, you know, kind of the macro goal is to kind of keep my protein around, you know, my protein definitely needs to come up if I'm going to start working out again. It's been pretty high carb, eating a lot of fruit again. So yeah, that's why my daily average was 2668, so quite a bit higher than what my maintenance would be, and so that explains why I'm starting to gain some weight back again. But again, I'm not too worried about it because I'm planning to start the program. I don't feel like I've gone like too crazy. So yeah, but I will hop off here and show you what my DEXA scan looked like. Okay, so these were the results from the like breathing test that I did where to get my resting metabolic rate. And so here it told, like, based on the test, how much I was burning. So just sitting there resting, it was 1354 calories. And then, like I said, add about 400 on top of that. And so that adds, you know, with this one, it calculated an extra 405 calories. And so from there, they calculated how much, you know, basically it kind of translates over to how much you need to eat. So basically, I shouldn't eat any less than 1,084 calories, and up to 1354 to lose weight, to maintain 1354 to 1759, which I had calculated around 1,600 to 1,700 calories to maintain. And so that seemed about right to me. And then on top of that, you know, if I have any extra exercise, then that would be more calories to offset it. And in my Fitness Pal, it does estimate that if you track your exercise, then it will kind of subtract off some of the calories if you pay attention to that. So I thought this was pretty cool. Seems pretty accurate. So yeah, there's what I got with that. And then this has a lot of information on it. I don't know if I'm gonna like explain it properly, but so I think this first one, like, just that looks kind of crazy to me. So I laid down, I wanted to get a video of this, but I don't know, I was in the moment and I didn't think about it, and so I didn't get any videos of the actual process, but you can probably look it up online. You just kind of lay on this machine and this thing kind of scans over your body. It took about 5 minutes for it to scan all the way down my body, and yeah, so then it got my bone density and then everything else. And he said, like, I think this is looking at my bone density, and he said it's really good for someone my age. It's pretty high, and so if I keep it up, I should be good with, you know, hopefully not having any broken bones or things as I get older. This other one, it's kind of similar to what I had on my in body, it looked at the fat and lean mass and total mass, you know, on different parts of my body. So I've got my arms, my legs, my trunk, and it looked at kind of like the difference. So I didn't have too much of a difference between my right and left. So that's good, I guess. And yeah, it just kind of broke it down between how many pounds I have on each of these areas. And I think that's just if I come back in more times, it'll show how it changes in the trends. BMI is normal. And then oh, yeah, I think the main thing on this, a lot of this is kind of repetitive, but I think the main thing on this one he pointed out was my visceral adipose tissue. So that's like kind of the fat that's inside my body, like around my organs and stuff. And he says this was really good. He said, you know, anything, I think he said below 2 was good. So because I had 0.8, that was pretty good. So I don't have a lot of internal fat around my organs and stuff. And wait, what else? And then yeah, this was my body fat. So I had a total of 33.6% body fat. And I think this kind of shows like the range and where I'm at. And I think this line in the middle is kind of like the normal. So I'm a little bit above normal. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is going to give me a lot of information. I'll look more into what all of this is and what all of this means, but at least I've got kind of a starting point to compare. So when I start this new program, you know, I'll be able to compare it like along the way as I go along with the program. So yeah, next week will be a little bit more exciting because I'll do my measurements and kind of get ready. I'm gonna start meal prepping a little bit over this next week, so I can kind of jump into it and not have to stress about my meals and everything. So that's all I got. I will be back next week to kind of get my baseline before starting the new program.